Hey everybody, welcome back to another Regulator Talk podcast here today as we're winding down going into Christmas season. I'm joined by two of my good friends, Cap and Flash. How you guys doing today?
Good, how are you?
Hey, that's pretty good. It's not like we totally just jumped right into this podcast. just
Negative.
just
Never.
yeeted right in here. So today we're going to be talking about the Epic Game Store. Some more. We're going to dive back more into this from a previous podcast with Osiris and I, where we started talking about, we kind of hinted at their like potential competition to Steam almost. Right now they're giving out a free game every 2 weeks, which is pretty cool. What dropped today on the 14th of December 2018 was Subnautica. Now, I have never played it personally. Flash has played it. I've heard great things about it. It has VR support. I thought it had multiplayer. Apparently, I was wrong. They don't. It's a mod. So,
Yee.
what's your take on that?
Ye-
Uh, so I really like Subnautica. I feel like it's one of the best survival games out there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, with multiplayer, the mod being pretty far down in development, I'm getting more and more excited just because that game, honestly, it you feel they get the feeling of being lonely down really well. Um, you get these like little side missions, if you want to call them that, where you have to go and find other life pods.
Yeah.
Um, and you go there and they're always destroyed. There's no sign of any survivors in any of them. And they get that down really well, and that's something that I really like because it's just that they want you to feel alone. You get you can there's a part of the story where you can call for help, but like they never get there alive. So they're really trying to just get this. You need to do this on your own. Um, Something that I have noticed is that I feel like the game should have multiplayer.
Yeah.
I feel like it would add a lot to the game. I feel like most survival games should have a multiplayer option.
Yeah, because I thought this was
Um,
like a survival game, kind of like The Forest, because it kind of has that story, but the ultimate goal is to survive in this world
yeah,
now. Um,
and another thing about it is that there aren't any weapons in the game. Like you get it, there is
huh.
one weapon, and it's a knife. Um, and I mean, you can get like a propulsion gun. You can get stunning torpedoes, but there's nothing. The only thing that can kill something is the knife that you get at the very beginning of the game.
Wasn't there a game like Drift or Afloat or something also where like you're on like a raft, but that has multiplayer? It's not like
Uh,
Subnautica where you're underwater, but
yeah, I haven't seen anything about that just because it didn't really intrigue me.
yeah.
But yeah, there's that.
See, there's a couple like island survival games out there. But Subnautica is the big like, underwater one in particular.
Hmm.
Um, let's take it back to the Epic Game Store though. Cap, are you able to access the like Epic Game Store like with no problems?
yes.
Okay, so for those that don't know, Capwookie over here, he's in the Netherlands, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the question I was asking about that was, global support. On Steam we have a lot with like region locking keys. And I don't even know like what does the Netherlands fall under when it comes to like region codes. I'm not even sure. How the
Well, I haven't
Netherlands.
had any problems at all since I'm here.
Yeah.
So I don't think Netherlands has any problems with anything.
Well, that's good then, because I know there's like EU, Russian game key. Like there's a whole bunch of different like game key, like region locking codes and stuff like that. Um, so I was kind of curious with that for the Epic Games Store in particular. But yeah, they've said that the Epic Games Store is going to try to get cross-platform to be like the big thing that's going to be the difference between Steam and them, is that they want to have all the games be available throughout their store, throughout all systems. Which, mission success in a sense of Steam, you know, or not Steam, sorry, Fortnite, and Steam on my, in Fortnite, because you can play it on PlayStation, Switch, phone, tablet, Xbox, PC. I mean, you can play Fortnite anywhere except for VR, and I'm actually surprised, I'm stunned that you can't play Fortnite in VR yet, because that...
Oh, God. I would die.
That's the one thing I'm waiting for. Epic Games, make it happen, you know?
No, please,
Let's get that...
Epic Games, don't do that.
And
Because
then-
I don't want another Bethesda where they're like, all right, guys, we have another release. Skyrima!
Think about how much money you would save, though, on Fortnite VR in terms of, like, the emotes. Because you could just do it in you know, in real life. And then the people would be like, oh, shoot, he's doing the, like, Orange Justice floss backflip, you know? I think that would be interesting there. Who knows? I mean, it's like when you and I were playing Arizona Sunshine a while back, and we just kept on dabbing or flossing. I still got the footage from that. I needed to trim it down. That was an experience in its
That was
itself.
so fun. That game is a lot of fun.
I would actually say, like, the contradiction to that. I didn't enjoy it that much. I liked Horde mode. I didn't like story. I mean, they tried for being one of the very, very first, if not the first, VR games with a story, you know, but I think in terms of, like, the optimization, the quality, it just was weird. You know, I wasn't a big fan of it. You know, I had a lot of problems with teleporting, and then, like, when we switched to locomotion, it didn't make it any better. So I don't know, but
I don't know. I feel like most of the issues weren't with the game. It was more just how we have our setups.
yeah.
Like, as of right now, my sensors are just on my desk. That makes it really hard for me to grab stuff on the ground. As soon as I can get sensor mounts, I can start putting them on my walls. Once I get my third sensor, it'll make life so much easier because I'll be able to have a dedicated sensor on the ground so that I can pick stuff up.
Yeah.
It's just that's the only issue really that I had with the game. I mean, what I like most about VR games is that when you aim, you have to actually line up your sight
Yeah.
with where you want to go.
I always
Now-
close one eye when we were sniping.
I know. Or if you're, I feel like people that have played VR will have a lot better of a idea,
Yeah.
so that you could just bring it up a bit, figure out where to place the gun, what angle to have it at, kind of thing, and they would have a better time at figuring out where to aim without having to aim down sight. But like, there's a bunch of games out there that I feel like that people that have had VR capabilities will be much better at it, just because they have had that time to learn. And most people that have VR probably usually will have more of a room scale setup where they can pick things up wherever they want. They can do almost anything
Flash is
without
like
any
the rich
issue.
kids with the
Yeah,
VR.
no.
Just straight up, he's like, those guys who are the
I mean,
parents
no, I
give
know that there are-
everything.
I know that there are people out there that have a setup like me where it's just
In
standing.
the corner, you gotta
Yeah.
work with it. Your bed's in the way. You freaking slap it against the wall. Your dog's there, and it's like biting your leg the entire time, and then your dog's
Yeah,
looking at
exactly.
you like you're an alien. Like, I feel you. I
But
feel you,
for
buddy.
people, this is more for the people that not necessarily that they're rich, but that have like their own apartment or house where they have a room dedicated as an office for them.
Yeah.
So then they, the only thing that's really in their room is like their desk or like maybe a bookshelf or just shelving in general in the background. But they have like a lot of space that they can play. Those people are usually the ones that are more into VR. That will have a lot easier of a time because they have, they have the stuff.
The room capacity, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how we got on VR either for a few, but
we were talking about
like I guess Subnautica a little bit with VR capability.
And then you thought that Fortnite VR would be a good idea, which I highly disagree.
Oh man, come on! Like,
yes, let me
jump off the battle bus.
That would be the most trippy.
It always is.
My God.
We need to play Rec Room VR actually.
We do.
Rec Room Battle Royale VR. I meant to say because we've already done it VR, but we need to do the Battle Royale version of it. Cap, remember when you were playing the Escape Room VR with us, which I hated because
I liked it. So
I hate horror games for one.
Well, you also weren't this person, so like going into something that was dark was like actually going into a room that was black.
Yeah, I know. I was the only one that went in the dark.
Yeah,
dark room.
I was like, all right, take this, and I was like, go open up the door. I was like, take this and turn on the lights. And then you're like messing around with like a Nazi farmer zombie who's like screaming the entire time. It
wasn't me. It was the
like
the thing on the wall.
Mirror, yeah, that thing, or the painting.
Yeah, the painting. Yeah.
We never made it out, by the way, guys. Just gonna say we
gave it like a half an hour. We got like halfway through and then we gave up.
Yeah.
Well, I had to go as well, so it was like two playing that game.
Interesting concept. Probably more of a thing where like you have a virtual environment, like escape room in real life in terms of like, the escape rooms in real life, but have this be like the replacer for it in virtual reality. Because offering this in the enjoyment of my home, there's other games I would rather want to play as owning a VR. Given the game was free, I'll give it that.
Well, the first level was free. You had to pay for the level.
So, but I wasn't into it. I don't know.
I like escape rooms. I just feel like that game was really buggy.
Really?
Because for one, you can't kick anybody from a lobby.
That's true. Yeah, we had.
We kept having this issue where some random guy would join in, and we just waited for him to leave to ready up and get in. Because I wasn't allowed to kick him for some weird reason. I feel like that's every game that has a lobby where there is someone that is the leader of said lobby. They should have the ability to remove someone from the lobby so that you can open up space.
Yeah.
And we were trying to set it to private, but it would not let me set it to private either.
Yeah.
And then getting into the actual game, I couldn't see Capwookie move at all. He was stationary the entire game, so I couldn't see anything that he was doing.
Really?
Anything that he opened was still
I think
closed.
it was for you because I think both could see me moving.
Yeah,
right?
it was just for me. But I mean, it could have just been that I got the short end of the stick and couldn't see. I got the bad one, and just couldn't see anybody. So like when we started turning on the lights, the lights just magically turned on for me because I couldn't see Capwookie move. Any of the doors that you opened, they were still closed, and I would have to open them myself. I do like escape rooms. I just feel like that one was super buggy. I'm sure there's some out there that are really good, like the I Expect You to Die game looks really good and really polished. And I want to try that, but don't want to pay for it.
Same. at least with that, I can justify it because it's own game. But a lot of the games like Skyrim or Fallout, when I've been playing them for years on end, I love Payday and The Forest, how they just integrate it for free. And so I really wish that they would have done that instead with, Fallout and Skyrim, instead of milking the cash cow for another $60. So I don't know. Another thing though with Subnautica and the whole VR, back to that, on the Epic Game Store, unlike with Steam has the Steam VR Home, it makes me wonder like if I'll actually be able to play VR though with Subnautica if it doesn't have like its own Steam VR Home. I wonder if Oculus could just pick it up or if it's through the game. I don't know, but that'd be interesting there. So, what are your guys like thoughts on this whole Epic Game Store? Also, like,
if it works, it'll be good.
Yeah, like
if it doesn't, people are gonna forget about it. Now, because Epic Games made Fortnite,
yeah,
I'm sure it's not gonna. I'm sure it's not gonna die out. If they keep doing this, this free games every 2 weeks, it'll be kind of like games with gold and the PlayStation Plus, where they give a free game every two. I mean, yeah, they do that as well.
But you got to pay for the subscription for that. This one they're just giving away.
If they do that, that'll be a big plus, and I think that'll keep them up in daily users. And having Subnautica be their first free game, I feel like is a really good idea, just because Subnautica. I mean, I don't have a lot of time in it. I have a total over Xbox and PC about 100 hours, which is a lot, but not like a lot in my opinion. Mainly because when I played it, it was before the game was released, and they were constantly resetting worlds. Because they would add something new, and then you'd have to reset your world so that new thing could be added to the, to the game. So like I was never able to actually get further than getting onto the floating islands. Since they released the game, I've put in about 5 hours, but I'm just waiting for multiplayer because it'll be a lot more fun and enjoyable because you'll be able to play with your friends. That's my opinion on it. I feel like it being in VR, I haven't personally tried it, although I should. It'll make the game a lot creepier. I know a lot of people that are scared of the ocean that just won't play the game for that reason. But I feel like if I feel like I wouldn't have really much of an issue. I'm not going in yet because the game can be pretty creepy, and having a Leviathan rush at you in first person is probably the most terrifying thing ever. And yeah, that's really just my point on it. I feel like if they keep doing the store, it'll be good. If they keep adding like a free game every 2 weeks, it'll be the Epic Game Store will probably compete really well with the Steam store. Now, whether they, in my opinion, I would much rather buy a game on Steam because more people use Steam. And another thing is, if they're going to allow people that are Steam users play with people that are Epic Game users. If they do, then I don't see an issue with the Epic Game Store being up. But like, let's say they start adding games like Arma and Beat Saber and Fallout, or like the older Fallouts, or Don't Starve, or what's another multiplayer game? No Man's Sky.
yeah.
Will you be able to play with people that already own it on Steam?
Yeah.
Because most of the users are on Steam. I would say if you have a computer, you most likely have a Steam account.
That's the
If
key
not,
thing
then
too. Like the people on Uplay only have their games on Uplay, but they can integrate it with Steam. The
right.
people who have their games on Origin, that's the only place you can get those games. It's the
Hmm.
only place you can get Star Wars Battlefront 2, FIFA, Battlefield. You can't do that on Steam, you know.
Right.
At least
But
for, the newer
that's
stuff.
the thing though, is that they like Uplay is linked to Steam, or like your
Yeah.
Steam is linked to your Uplay. The only way that you can actually play the game from Steam is if you download Uplay and you inevitably start playing it through Uplay. Origin, since it's Origin is owned by EA, that's the only way that you're going to be able to buy EA game. There are no EA games that I know of on the Steam store. So, I mean, like, Origin has their own store for their own games. They don't go and sell anyone else's games on their store besides their own.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't find their games on any other store besides their own, legally at least. So, I mean, but that's not what Epic Games is doing. Epic Games is using games that are
Already, like, on
they're yeah.
Steam. And, well,
Mm-hmm.
they do have games that are, like, their own, with the Unreal Engine.
Right.
But, I mean, you can get Unreal Engine games on Steam. However, the big one you can't get is Fortnite.
Yeah.
Which I kind of scratch my head because I feel like a long time ago I remember it being on Steam. I don't know if this was true or not. It probably wasn't. I mean, but this was a long time ago. I don't know. I'm not crazy about Fortnite, so someone who's been playing since day one could probably, be like, oh, it was never on Steam, but it was always on the Epic Games launcher. It's kind of like the same thing with Blizzard, I guess, with their launcher and Destiny 2 and World of Warcraft, stuff like that. I guess. I don't know. I haven't played World of Warcraft since I was like an embryo, it feels like. And like Overwatch and Destiny 2 never really caught my taste, I guess you would say. But
Mm-hmm.
They're in their own little market, I guess, doing well. I guess Destiny 2's not if they're giving away for free. But
It wasn't until they started giving it away for free, and it was a smart idea for them to give it away for free.
oh yeah, because people are
Um,
like, I would never touch that game unless it was free, and now they're like, it's free. Here's
well, it's not
DLC.
free anymore.
And yeah,
what I
for that
what I
limited
do
time.
like is that they had it free for November or something like that, for a couple weeks, and it basically gave players that haven't played it a taste of what Destiny 2 is. I personally really like Destiny 2. I still feel like it's not as good as Destiny 1. It could have been a lot better on like launch. But with all the DLC that they've released, I really like the game. And them putting out for free was a super smart idea. I am not upset that they put it out for free, and I bought the game both on Xbox and on PC because they increased the player base a lot more. Playing Destiny 2 on PC and trying to find a raid team on PC after like the first few months it was released on PC was kind of a joke. The player base, while yes, you could still get into full games and full lobbies, going anywhere into like onto a planet, you'd barely see anybody because it wasn't a popular game on PC. Why play Destiny when you can go play World of Warcraft, which is still a very popular game? Why play Destiny when you can go play literally the thousands of other games that are on that of the other like RPG
like
games
space,
on
I
Steam?
guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Now on consoles, there's a lot more limitations in terms of RPG games.
Yeah,
That are kind of like Destiny. I mean, the only other one that I can think of that is like Destiny is Borderlands. While there are hundreds
I
and
always make
thousands
the
on,
comparison for Destiny. I always say, why play Destiny if I can play Halo? Given Halo's changed a lot though, so I wouldn't say that either. But
well,
you know,
that was the argument, but ever since Halo has gone downhill, at least for me, Destiny has been a
same.
good change. I haven't liked Halo since Halo 4.
Same.
Well,
Same,
I've
yeah.
never played Halo
So,
at all, so
Yeah, Cap has a
um,
PlayStation, so he's never got to experience. Well,
Destiny is
you can play it
definitely
on Steam.
Destiny is one
a
of
lot
my
worse.
favorite games I've ever played. Destiny 1 I put in over 600 hours in easily. I completed all of the raids at least 100 times.
Mm-hmm.
That's not including the times where we would play and then not complete the raid until the next wipe. It was or reset, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But like I feel like the game is more popular on consoles because it's catered towards console players.
Yeah.
Like Destiny 1 was only on consoles. Now
it's on PC as well.
I'm still waiting for Bungie to be like, hey, you know what? We're gonna re-release Destiny 1 on PC because you guys will never see me again.
Yeah.
But like the game is definitely more of a console game than a PC game. It's obviously going to be a lot more competitive on PC because it's a lot smoother. It's a lot easier to play, but I don't think that that PC gamers really appreciate it for the game that it is. I'm not saying that all PC gamers don't like it because I know that there are a lot of YouTubers that would rather play it on PC just because of the higher frames.
Yeah.
It's a lot smoother. It feels better. There's this constant bug that has been there since release where guns don't have recoil. And all of the console players obviously want to play it on PC because why wouldn't you want to play it? Why would you want to play it on a console instead of a PC?
Yeah.
Well, some people think the console is better than PC because I have some friends over here that they've never played on PC. So
Yeah, they're kind of
I played.
Yeah, right. I know that there are people like
PC.
that.
Yeah, they just say PS4 is better than PC and stuff. Yeah, I can't say anything else because they have never played a PC. So
it's funny because I had this conversation with my 12-year-old sister, and she said, I like the PlayStation, but I like my computer better because the PlayStation, I can go and play the exclusive games, but they're always single-player games like God of War, or she said Last of Us, or Spider-Man. And then once I'm done with that game, I'm pretty much done with it. I can go and sell it back to GameStop. And I'm like, that's kind of the truth when it comes to PlayStation exclusives. Now, if you look back on Xbox exclusives, Xbox is in a weird case where their exclusives aren't really exclusives because if you own a Windows 10 computer, most of them integrate. Then you can bring it to Windows 10 through the Microsoft Windows 10 store, like Gears of War 4, Halo Wars 2, State of Decay 2, stuff like that. That's known as exclusive really isn't at that point. The only real big console exclusive killer at the moment, I would say, or killer for PC, would be Red Dead 2. And with that, as we start to close up here, one last question for you guys is, do you think that we're going to run into a case where, like with Fortnite and Destiny 2 and all this, where we're going to run into, and Fallout 76 is the biggest example here, where game studios are going to make their own launcher just for their stuff, and eventually all the big game launcher or game companies are just going to be segregated to their own little space like Fallout has become, you know.
I'm sure it could get to that point. I don't think it will anytime soon. With how Steam is getting with how Steam was, I should say, before they had it set to where you could just post whatever, before they made it to where, you know, every game was approved and put on Steam. If Steam were to stay the same, or were to have not changed that, I feel like it's a lot of a bigger, it's more of an honor to have your game on Steam. Just because Steam is, you know, run by Valve, and Valve is this giant company, or it used to be at least, and
Well, I think it's still a big one.
it's still a big company, but it's definitely not the biggest anymore. Ever since, you know, they started going downhill.
Yeah. I know yeah.
It used to be like, I feel like game companies were a lot happier if they had their game on Steam. And with consumers having all of their games on one platform on their computer, it's like, yeah, this is great. I don't have to download Origin to go play.
Yeah.
I mean, they still have to do this. I'm just giving off an example. I don't have to download Origin to go play Battlefield. I don't have to go download Uplay to play Uplay games like Rainbow or Wildlands. I can just, you know, it's all central on one platform. But I feel that since Steam has done it made it to where, you know, all of these games are allowed, where you have games that are made in like 5 minutes, and there's like 8 or so different variations of this one game. I feel like it's a lot easier to just have a game company to put their game on their own platform. Plus, with game companies getting more greedy, wanting more money, which is normal.
I actually,
it's a lot. It's better for them to put it on their own like launcher, because 100% of the money is going to go towards them. Having it on Steam will get a portion of what of like the sales, and then the game company will get the rest. And like, I don't know. I don't think that people, or that the game companies are wanting 100% of what they make. You know, it's their game. They want it all. So that's why, you know, Activision has gone out and went onto the Blizzard launcher, battle.net. I'm sure that's why Fortnite is on the Epic Games launcher. That's why Fallout is on the
Battle.net.
Is on, no, that's why Fortnite, or not Fortnite, sorry, Fallout is on the Bethesda launcher.
Yeah, but there's
it's because, you know, they all want to do something, but they want to make 100% of the money for the thing that they want to do.
no,
like
they
the
want
reason
to
that
earn money, more money that they actually spend.
Right. They don't want to be losing any money for their what do I want to call it, for their game. That's what I want to call it. They want to make the money that for the product that they made. That's why Origin has their own launcher for their games. Is because they didn't want to agree with, you know, Steam and have
20 or 40% or whatever.
Yeah, they wanted to make 100% for the product that they made, which I get. You know, I would want to make 100% of the money that I make. I wouldn't want to make, you know, I mean, without taxes, I would make 100% of the money that I made.
I think the big thing to look at it here is like the global reach of Steam, though. Is like, do you want more people or do you want more money? But more people can get more money too. That's the thing.
It's just, Steam is one of the best options for games, just because Steam is known worldwide.
Workshop also support is phenomenal.
And yeah, Workshop, if you allow your game to be modded, Steam is the best option for
Yeah,
it
for
because of the
sure.
Workshop. Like Arma, in my opinion, is one of the best games for this, for Steam because of the Workshop. You have all of these people that have ideas for mods, and you have people that want those as a mod. Like the Ace interaction for Arma is fantastic. It adds, medical. It adds the fact that
I
you can
think
now
it's the best
drag people. It adds a lot to the game. I feel that Ace for Arma is
one of the best mods they ever made.
It's, in my opinion, I can have a game go with no mods and just Ace, and the game will be phenomenal. Now, yeah, it's gonna be a bit boring just because it's just the base game stuff, but
Still,
it's on the Workshop. It's there. Another game that is also super heavy on Workshop is Gary's Mod. I say that that's another really big, probably one of the biggest
it's
games
just,
for
it's
Workshop
just,
because
yeah, it's
everything is on the Workshop for Gary's Mod. You want a certain model, it's on the Workshop. You want you go on any server, no matter what, you're going to be downloading stuff from the Workshop because it just adds to the game. There are games where it's not on the Workshop. Like Arma used to not be on the Workshop. You used to have to go through Armaholic to download mods and get mods for Arma.
Thank God we don't have to do that ever again. I mean,
I know.
sometimes we have to. Now we have to go through VK and stuff like that, but
but games that allow Workshop modding is phenomenal. It's super user friendly because you go onto the Steam Workshop and you download a game or you download a mod, and then you open up the game and the mod is there. When you move a game away from from Steam, custom maps, custom mods, that's gonna be a lot harder to achieve. A lot harder to achieve. For instance, I used to play a lot of custom zombies from Call of Duty. Hold on, let me find.
You're talking about World at War, right?
Well, World at War, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 2, Black Ops, just anything that's zombies. You could always find a map, a custom map on the Workshop. But now we're into Black Ops 4, and they have their own launcher for it. And I haven't seen anything for custom zombies for Black Ops 4. They completely took out custom zombies, which, in my opinion, was a bad call, just because with custom maps, you get people that want to remake a old Call of Duty map but have their own spin on it. I remember playing this old Noctur on Toten, which is the very first zombie map, but they added onto the map to where you could explore outside and run around outside. You can't do that in any of the normal.
The original, yeah. You would have to glitch out. I remember that a really long time ago.
There's this Black Ops 3 map that is this temple, and it was way before Black Ops 4 came out when they released this, and it was really well done, and you're going around this pyramid, and you have to find all these parts to open up the pyramid and then go inside the pyramid. And another thing is they all had it, there were challenges for it if you wanted to. There were always there were always something that you could do, and it was all on the Steam Workshop. You didn't have to go to any other website to get the map or to download the mod or whatever. It was always on the Steam Workshop. The people moving away from the Steam from Steam, in the end it's their call, but I feel like it's a bad call for consumers. But it's a good call in a company standpoint.
And with that, everybody, as we wrap it up here, we leave it always in your hands. Are you guys going to go to the Epic Games Store? I think most people will go there when they see free games every 2 weeks. I think that'll help them out a good bit. I mean, people already, majority people, even if, like, for instance, I'm not a big Fortnite guy, but you've heard of it, you've probably played it at least once or twice, and so you've probably gone through the process of downloading the Epic Games launcher, and now the Epic Games launcher, from what I've updated just recently today, has the store integrated into it now. So it's a big thing there. But I don't know, guys. Guess we'll just have to wait and see how time progresses. Especially next year could be a big year for PC gaming industry. Not much of a monopoly anymore, as companies are, going on making their own thing with the Bethesda launcher. Uplay, Origin have already been a thing for a while now, but I think we'll see a weird unholy alliance between Uplay, Origin, and Steam. You can quote me on that one, and we're all going to be fighting the Fortnite wars. And with that, everyone, have a good day, have a safe day, enjoy your weekend.